What is up, hard rock and metal fans? So, I happened to catch Bryan Adams pretty recently, and it also struck me that I hadn't done, a recommendation video for him, like the top three records of Bryan Adams that, new listeners could listen to, as well as, hear what old fans of his have to say. So, I went back, had a look at it, and it had been quite a while since I'd heard Bryan Adams, specifically speaking about this concert. And then I sort of, reminded myself, which were the tracks, which are the albums I liked, and so on the most. So without further ado, here are my top three. Starts with the first album, which is Reckless. And this, of course, has some huge heavyweight tracks on it. It starts obviously with Summer of 69, which is in it. You have One Night Love Affair. You have Run to You. You have Heaven. It's Only Love, which he did with Tina Turner. In fact, Bryan called out Tina Turner during this concert and, paid a special tribute to her. Even did a small little rendition of What's Love Got to Do with It, for those who are familiar with one of Tina Turner's biggest songs, right? Biggest hits. And it had Somebody as well, which was another track which is there. So Reckless is my first recommendation. Coming in as my second recommendation, I would actually say Waking Up the Neighbors. And this, of course, has some again equally big hits. So you have, of course, the one track that I think everyone associates with Bryan on and considers to be his biggest hit, arguably, which is Everything I Do It For You. I still remember as a kid when that song came out, and I remember it was on TV stations and radio stations everywhere promoting it and talking about how well it was doing. And it was obviously part of the Robin Hood King of Thieves soundtrack, where Kevin Costner was Robin Hood. Pretty cool. Other tracks included There Will Never Be Another Night. Yeah. Do I have to say the words? Thought I Died and Gone to Heaven, which I really like. I think it's my favorite track off the album. And Can't Stop This Thing We Started. I think it had Vanishing, House Arrest, Touch the Hand, and Depend on Me as some of the other really good album tracks. And finally, as a third record, the one which I would recommend, which I would consider my personal favorite, is the record 18 Till I Die. It has my favorite song of Adams, which is The Only Thing That Looks Good on Me Is You. It starts the album off. It has obviously the title track, which is 18 Till I Die. It has a very famous ballad, which a lot of people like, called Let's Make a Night to Remember. It has the song Star. It has another famous track of his, which is, Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman? It has We're Gonna Win. It has, of course, the kind of a laughable track in a way, which I know a lot of guys like it. Maybe it's a guilty pleasure. I just find it funny in a good way, which is I Want to Be Your Underwear. I Think About You is another one as well. So these are three records which I would recommend from his discography. He's got quite an extensive one. What do you guys think? For those of you who are Bryan Adams fans, do you consider this, or do you have a different list? Love to hear from you. Thanks as always, guys, for listening in. Take care and rock on.